All right, I'll get started. Hi, my name is Ted. When I was in high school, I formed the Quiz Bowl team, and we actually went to nationals, so I have a little experience with this. Who here has actually played Quiz Bowl? Any actual Quiz Bowlers? Okay, cool. And were they, what, with your schools or with?
I think it was with you.
Okay, it was all with me.
It was Ushicon 20, the last one, with when Princess Tutu was the big thing.
Okay, yeah, I remember that one. Okay, so yeah, what I do now with cons is I like to bring my Quiz Bowl buzzers, and I find a whole bunch of pop culture for fun packets, and I just want to find people to play with them and expose the world to Quiz Bowl. I actually just did help moderate a tournament at Round Rock High School last Saturday, and I kid you not, I got an email last night from someone over at the University of Texas, Austin. They're trying to get me to moderate a Quiz Bowl because apparently there's a tournament, an actual NAQT, the South Sectional tournament. It's University of Texas, Texas A&M, Rice University, and University of Oklahoma. They're going to be there tomorrow fighting it out to go to the college nationals. But I'm here, so.
Oh no.
Yeah, all right, well. We'll run through this really quick. So what is a Quiz Bowl? Quiz Bowls is a generic term. It's a quiz-based competition, usually in a variety of academic subjects. Most Quiz Bowls, they're not going to be pop culture. In fact, NAQT tries to keep the spread to less than 10% of the questions. Usually two teams, usually schools and colleges, and they're signified by a lockout buzzer system like you see set up here in front of us. I had hoped to use an online Quiz Bowl buzzer system, but I do not think the internet here is conducive to that. So there are many formats. There's College Bowl, there's Academic Competition Federation, there's also PACE. I mostly competed under National Academic Quiz Tournaments, so most of the content that I'll be presenting will be that. And we'll just run through the basic rules of Quiz Bowl. Usually there are two teams of 4 players. They're usually timed. We're talking 15 minutes with a halftime. Teams are allowed 1 timeout and 1 substitution, just like in a regular sports game. Toss-up questions. So the toss-ups are pyramidal, and I'll show you an example of a toss-up question next. They are worth 10 points. Answering before the moderator, you are welcome to answer before the moderator finishes reading the question. That is entirely the objective. Please do buzz in as soon as you believe you know the answer. However, I will warn, that is usually you get a -5 penalty for that. There's no penalty if the question reader finishes reading. There's no talking or, as we call it, conferring with your teammates during a toss-up. Following successfully answering a toss-up, the team will get a series of bonus questions. This is where the team play comes in. Teams can work with each other and talk to each other about what the possible answers are. Those are worth 30 points, and answers must be immediate, unambiguous, and clear. Most of your points are going to be made through answering the bonuses. But in order to do that, you need to answer a toss-up. This is an example of what a full toss-up about Pokemon would look like. I will just read the power section, which is the bold section. I'll explain the significance of that. A picture on the wall in the Coast Lily Motel in Oros was thought to be a possible Easter egg for this Pokemon. This non-canine Pokemon is captured by the Undertale community with pictures, saying that this Pokemon has gone where no dog has gone before. Twitter user Sameko tweeted a joke picture of this Pokemon with Chikorita, Dugtrio, and Latias with, and that's what we call the power section. So first off, when you hear these questions, they're usually we always start with the hardest to know clue. But we do keep reading, revealing more clues. I kind of like Quiz Bowl with this because it's not really realistic for somebody to be able to answer something off of knowing one thing. We try to toss maybe 4 or 10 different clues at you. They do get easier. The significance of the power is, normally, as I said, the toss-ups are worth 10 in Quiz Bowl. If you answer before the moderator finishes reading that bold section, that toss-up is now worth 15. So there's every incentive to buzz in and buzz in early. I will say, if you can power, you are good. You know a lot about this, whatever was being read. Typically then, you'll get a series of bonus questions. Here's just a quick example of a bonus question. So, like, Team A, your bonus. The ideal gas law refers to variables P, V, and T for 10 points each. So we'll just go through this. A, V represents this quantity, the space taken up by a gas. It can be measured in liters. Usually we give them about 5, maybe 10 seconds to answer. Captain, answer, or anyone can look at me and just say volume. Volume is correct. For example then, T represents temperature, which is proportional to the value of this energy of motion for the random motions of gas. This is often abbreviated as KT. Let's just give them a wrong answer. Kelvins. Kelvin, incorrect. No 10 points, but no penalty. So in bonuses, you do want to guess. I often joke my team strategy is in a bonus. If we don't know, just guess Smith. So, little quiz bowl coaching for you. These are lockout buzzer systems, signaling devices. I will just say my piece on these. There are no ties with this. They should cost between anywhere from $130 to $420. There are many different types. If you are looking to start a program at your school, please do get one of these official systems. This is an Anderson Officiator 10. There are also several others. Do not go to Amazon or eBay and buy a toy. If you're serious about your program, you will your team will practice hour or two every day after school, 3 to 5 times a week. These things are made to last. Not only that, they are sectional, so if I have just a broken buzzer, I can just replace that buzzer or interchange them. Some of the toys, these are all one piece, so you would have to replace the entire assembly if, say, just one button broke. So I'll send my piece about that. There are different types. There's a tabletop system, hand pad systems. These are indestructible. Those are basically sewing machine pedals. They're very good for younger kids, middle schoolers who like to slam down on them. We'll be using a handheld buzzer system. I had hoped to use the Buzz-In Live. So they also do hold online tournaments. Not all of them are in person. We won't be using that due to internet issues. But that's what's recommended for NAQT tournaments. There's also an online game called Buzzword if you ever want to listen to actual NAQT type questions and try and buzz in. The games do cost about $5, and there are league plays if you are looking for some extra challenge in your free time. The tournament I held last Saturday was with Texas Challengers Quiz Tournaments. There is another tournament March 1st. It's going to be at Gorzecki Middle School. We are looking for moderators or scorekeepers, so if you would like to do what I'm basically doing here right now, we basically read off 8 rounds to middle schoolers and high schoolers, and you make rulings on correctness. Also, just to let you know, it is open for students of middle school or high school. Officially, you don't have to be representing the school. If you would like, the entry fee is $50. It's $100 or $50 if you're a new team. You just wouldn't qualify for nationals. So if you have a teenager who has a group of friends who are just really smart, they could probably enter. There were actually two or three players who were playing by themselves at the last tournament. And they did surprisingly well. They beat some B and C teams from different schools. But if you are interested, tcqt.org. And like I said, apparently University of Texas was having a quiz bowl tomorrow, and they're also looking for moderators if you'd like to volunteer for that too. This is what a quiz bowl looks like. That's me at Austin Lassa. That's my setup. So you just bring a laptop, set up the buzzers, and you read quiz bowls all day, and that's me moderating an actual round. And this is a picture of what the finals looks like. So this is actually done at local high schools and colleges. And congratulations to that day was Round Rock High School and Austin Lassa. They qualify for nationals. Some resources, NAQT.com. There are also different federations like the ACF, Texas Quiz Bowl Alliance, as well as Texas Challengers Quiz Bowl. And this is an Anderson buzzer system if you'd like to look into getting such a system. There's also a portable version that does just 4 players. It's pretty good. Other competitions that are related are U.S. Academic Decathlon and Science Bowl. And we'll do trash. I think that's all I've got for that. So, with that in mind, and I'll go ahead and disconnect so you don't see the questions. Who would like to play? If you would like to play, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think we've got less than 10. Okay, so if you'd like, just come on up and pick a buzzer off the table and just bring it back. Hopefully, please don't tangle them. You should be able to see the indicator lights at the bottom. We'll do a quick buzzer check and establish your call out. Okay, this package is called Mo Nintendo, a tournament mostly on Nintendo NES and SNES consoles by Mike Bentley. I will read an editor's note. Every toss-up in this tournament will have a clue in some way that relates to the Nintendo Entertainment System or Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or their Japanese equivalents. But some clues and answers will be on games from other systems. Also, for any Final Fantasy game clue, the Japanese numbering system will be used. All right? So, let's go ahead and get started. Please be toss-ups only. All right. Toss-up 1. One mini-boss in this game can only be damaged by targeting its handle and is a holographic sword called the Chop Register. Speedrunners of this game usually prioritize collecting the S-chain as soon as possible. This game's opening level concludes in a fight against an extremely tall character called Gigantic Mechaloid CF-01. This game built Green 3.
Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance?
Neg -5. Consider yourself locked out to give everyone else a chance to answer. All right. This game was built on the graphics of its predecessor by using the CX4 chip to allow for semi-transparencies and some 3D graphics, such as the wireframe head of this game's final bosses, Red 2.
Star Fox?
Yeah.
Neg -5. Final boss form. Late in the game, the player travels to a base in the Arctic to face off against Violin, Agile, and Surges. Red 3.
Mega Man X?
Nope. 3 of the certain type of hunters. Early in this game, the player is tasked with investigating an increase in Maverick. Red 2.
Mega Man X2?
Correct.
And would you like a mouse pad, phone grip, or phone kickstand?
Repeat that again?
Mouse pad, I'll just bring them over and you can pick the one you want.
I need a mouse.
I forgot these were all going to be NES, Super Nintendo stuff. Sort of went with Revenge.
Yeah, it's interesting. The author made 2 sets of packets. So one was NES SNES, and the other was Wii Switch. So I figured since this is Ushicon, I wanted to do the Nintendo one. So, all right.
Okay.
All right, that's one away. Toss-up 2. In an NES developed by SNK, a person with this distinction joins our character on an airport runway to fight the Crime Ghost gang in the final level of Ikari 3: The Rescue. After taking over the Eternal Tower in San Francisco on December 31st, 2015, Wolf Hongo holds a person with this distinction hostage in a tower in Sega's Die Hard arcade. A different character with this distinction invites the protagonist to do some overtime at her house after briefly falling off a jet ski at the end of a GameCube game where she is saved thanks to a device built by Louis Serra. That person with this distinction is held in a Spanish village by a cult leader who plans to put on Las Plagas. Red 2.
Resident Evil 4?
Prompt?
Oh, prompt.
Prompt means that's not quite what we're going for, but...
Oh, sorry. Ashley?
This distinction is?
The woman who's lost... Sorry.
Can't accept that. Red 3?
Resident Star.
First daughter, yes.
Good job. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, that is another reason that we do practice these quiz bowl questions. You're going to learn to key in on this distinction, this person, this place. Also, there are many variations. Some of the questions will be, you'll hear things that seem randomly unrelated, but you're trying to figure out why they're all related. Or
hence President's daughter.
Yeah. Or another one, that's why they were all related or that distinction. Another one I often say is a lot of fun is songs read in a monotone drawl. Those are hilarious. Okay, so that was good. They make you think. All right. Toss-up 3. Note, we'll accept a bunch of answers here. I see why. A MSX game in this series that never made it to the Famicom seems to depict the protagonist naked and has a soundtrack by Square's Nobu Uematsu. In December 2023, Modern Vintage Gamer revealed that a PlayStation game in this series contained a secret code that let you boot CDRs. One of the 3 playable characters from this series cannot use elevators and thus must travel through air ducts in the best FPS for the Jaguar. The most recent game based on this series is a top-down real-time tactics game subtitled Dark Descent. A SNES beat-em-up in this series concludes with a final level in the Orion Nebula after previous levels set on the planet Vega 4, and finishes with a boss fight against a queen of one of the title characters. For 10 points, name this intertwined film series, subject of an SNES game, where you play as Ellen Ripley and battle Green 1.
Alien.
That is correct.
Which one would you like?
And battle Xenomorphs and Yuja.
Remember what it was.
Well, I was thinking the Alien vs. Predator. Maybe one of them.
All right. Okay. Toss-up 4. This publisher's NES sports game, Bad News Baseball, did not have a license from the film Bad News Bears. The Pisces levels are the last regular section of an NES puzzle game published by this company starring Dana, titled Solomon's Key. An old spelling of this company's name appeared in the title of some version of a game of a World Cup game on the NES that used the same engine as this company's Gridiron Fight. An acclaimed NES game published by this company opens with the apparent murder of the protagonist's father, Ken, and introduced the windmill shuriken to this series. Players can choose between two runs and 2 pass options on each play in an NES game published by this company. That was the Red 2.
Tecmo?
That is correct. 10 points. Let's see here. Yeah, if we already got something, that's fine.
You want a different one? We've got plenty
Sounds
up
like
here. Yeah.
baseball.
Nope.
Have you?
We'll just move on.
Is it any good?
Apparently is.
Okay, I'll take your word first.
Old football game on NES.
Toss-up 5. Wario chases 3 masked guys into one of these locations named after Aldegara in a section of Virtual Boy Wario Land. The player can repeatedly press the jump button to slightly change direction and attempt to collect frog coins in a minigame set in one of these locations that comes immediately after the Kiro Sewers section of Super Mario RPG. Stage 3 of Contra is set in front of a vertically scrolling one of these locations. The player must jump onto a Pidgeot's carpet after making it to the top of one of these locations, which are filled with clouds in World 3-1 of Mario 2. Ness must wait 3 minutes to enter a secret passage, Green 3.
What's a waterfall?
Yes, power.
All right. Which one would you like?
For 10 points, name these locations which often hide secrets behind their fast-moving facades.
Yeah. Honestly, the second you said Ness had to wait for 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That's the password to get behind. There is no password. You have to wait for 3 minutes, and then they'll let you in to, was it Master
Belch?
Master Belch, there you go. His lair.
Cool. Good to know that.
Had to wait for you to get to an RPG I played.
That's often when it comes down to, so.
Well, Mario RPG, I'm like, can't be cliffside. But yeah, it is a waterfall.
I haven't played Mario RPG in like 2 decades, so I'm way behind on that
Yeah,
one.
when you said Mario RPG, I'm like, can't remember.
I got the Switch version for $20 the other day.
Nice.
I hear it's good.
All right.
Anyways.
Toss-up 6. In one of the first Williams pinball tables with a dot matrix display that was licensed from this film franchise and included a gun grip ball launcher. Sunsoft couldn't secure the license for this movie franchise from Hemdale Film Corporation for their NES game Journey to Sileus. A character from this franchise has his clothes burned away when he's under 10% health in downloadable combat for Mortal Kombat 11. A Midway light gun arcade game based on this franchise ends with a level where you need to shoot enough holes in a truck to soak the antagonist in liquid nitrogen. In the second film in this franchise, Red 3.
Where's Terminator?
Terminator is correct. For 10 points, name this film franchise whose title screen usually featured image of a T-800 played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Actually, did you either of you want a second prize since you both answered a second one?
I'm good.
Mousepad. Mousepad?
Mousepad?
Mousepad? Take the mousepad.
Let's see if I can just.
Yeah.
How's the mousepad?
That was impressive.
All right.
Good aim.
All right, toss-up 7. The second game in this series introduced an enemy called a gopher, but due to its use of a VRC4 mapper, never got an American NES release. That game in this series appeared in arcades under the title Vulcan Venture. Brazilian ROM hacker Vitor Viela recently released an update to an SNES launch title in this series that eliminated the slowdown in the game's bubble-filled second level. The first game in this series concluded with an assault on Xeris Fortress. The NES version of the first game in this series was the first to allow players to press pause and then input up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A to earn 30 lives. Red 3.
What is Contra?
Incorrect. That NES port of the first game in this series removed the vertical scrolling present in the arcade version, Moai stage, and had you taken on Bacterian invaders. For 10 points, name this shoot 'em up series by Konami where you command Vic Viper. Red 2.
Was Gradius?
That's correct. Let's see here. Next one. Scroll up. Okay. Toss-up 8. A character from this class claims to have had a sister who was bitten by dire elk in rats of unusual size. In his first... Red 4.
Princess Bride.
Incorrect. In his first appearance, a character of this class wonders if it's a cave of no return, and then how does anyone know what's inside of it? Later in that adventure, that character of this class uses a Hadouken on a title creature of the Giant's Force. That character of this class frequently goes around with his meat shield. In a series of tedious sprite comics hosted by Green 3.
Eric, for Black Mage or 8-Bit Theater?
Yes, Black Mage is the answer. Let's see. For 10 points, name this class of characters that is dedicated offensive spellcaster in the original Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Did you want a different one?
Nah.
Cool. All right. Toss-up 9. Classified info in Volume 30 of Nintendo Power revealed a bounce trick for this game. The final stage in this game is a secret command that varies from the earlier secret command mission by being set at night. On July 2020, Nintendo GigaLeak revealed that the first non-grainy footage of Dragonfly, a prototype of this game. One mission in this game has the evil syndicate shooting at you while you attempt to rescue your instructors on Izanu Island. A sequel to this game introduced a character named Lark, who closely resembles Nintendo Power mascot Nestor. Scores in this game are assessed based on factors such as accuracy of the landing. This NES... Red 1.
Pilot Wings.
That is correct.
What was it?
Pilot Wings.
Nice.
Yes. This game made heavy use of Mode 7 in modes such as Rocket Belt and Skydiving. For 10 points, name this Nintendo Flight Sim.
That's your
All right. Toss-up 10. This is the first word in the title of a SNES shooter with mouse support where you battle General Abdul Bazaar. This is the first word in the title of a top-grossing 1987 Taito arcade game whose NES port was marred by the lack of the arcade's Uzi controllers. This is also the first word in the title of a top-down Jellicoe action game where a crystalline substance transfer theory causes the title Logic Bomb. A Fallout version of a board game of this name contains a light-up radiation sign to the top left. This word precedes Thunderbolt and Wolf in a series of light gun shooters. A PC version of a board game of this name has you interacting with a disco wolfman via a mouse-controlled pair of tweezers. That board game of this name includes pieces such as Writer's Cramp and Adam's Apple. Or green 1.
Operation.
That's correct.
Did you want a different one?
As in Operation Wolf, Operation Thunderbolt, and Operation Logic Bomb.
Okay.
Let's see here. All right. Toss-up 11. Becky Berger Hyman had to be bailed out of porting this game to the SNES and told Creator VC documentary how Nintendo freaked out about the red tongues of some enemies. The SNES port of this game removed the alternate sprites from enemies, meaning that they could only ever face the player, and reused assets from Spear Destiny, a PC map pack. This game has a spiritual successor to a stealth game by Silas Warner for the Apple II. The engine for the SNES version of this game was licensed to Wisdom Tree for a game about Noah's Ark. Red 1.
Super 3D Noah's Ark.
Nope. Red 2.
Was Wolfenstein 3D?
Yep, Wolfenstein 3D is the answer.
I just,
Toss-up 12. A company called Steepler secured a contract to officially distribute Nintendo games in this country. A TV show subtitled The New Reality aired on the 2x2 network in this country and featured reviews of games such as Super Contra 6. The first edition of a clone console popular in this country had to be recalled because it wrongly outputted to PAL rather than CCAM DK. The generic name for video games in this country has long been Dendy, a reference to a Famicom that sold millions of units in the 1990s. A character from this country claims that he once was able to crush a man's skull like a sparrow egg between his legs during a Badanon meeting in Wreck-It Ralph. Red 1.
Russia.
That's correct. For 10 points, name this country home to a character known for his spinning pile driver special move from Street Fighter II, Zangief. There we go. Toss-up 13. Music theorist Arjus Shartman argued that this game's silence-heavy soundtrack was heavily influenced by a Jerry Goldsmith film score. The Japanese version of this game is unique in having an unusual sprite of the protagonist kneeling on the name entry screen. The Japanese release of this game unusually used stacks of money bags to represent how fast you beat it, while the American version added an extra pane of glass to the final boss. The Narpa sword password gives you unlimited missiles in this game. Kate Williart concluded that this game's famous Justin Bailey password was most likely not named for anyone. A celebrated remake of this game added a new segment where the protagonist loses the power suit. Red 1.
Metroid.
That's correct. Metroid.
Did you want a second prize? You got a couple other questions, right? I recall.
Nah, I'm good.
All right.
Cool. Toss-up 14. Minnie Driver voiced a character in a digital sequel to a film in this series that had you checking a tattoo on your arm to see your health. The first SNES game in this series was recently remastered to remove the annoying goggles overlay from Wolfenstein-inspired interior sections. The poorly received game Trespasser in this series was bundled with AMD graphics cards. An SNES game in this series let you pair up a rocket launcher and a bola snare rifle, and saw Mr. DNA offering you Red 2.
Was Jurassic Park?
Yep, Jurassic Park.
I have nothing.
First NES game based on this franchise has Dr. Grant collecting a lot of key cards.
That's where I would have gotten it.
Just like the movie.
All right. Toss-up 15. In one collection originally developed for this system, the player can collect bits by clearing stages such as Find and Defeat the Real Ones, a mission involving sidesteppers. That same collection originally developed for this system includes a double-speed version of Super Mario Bros. Games such as Adventures of Bayou Billy were specifically reprogrammed for this console to allow you for a degree of zapper support. Red 1.
Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Neg, incorrect. This console is the only one to get an official re-release of Kirby Mass Attack. The player must defeat Boom Boom as Invincible Princess Peach in a game originally released for this system, NES Remix 2. Green 3.
What, Nintendo DS? Nintendo DS?
Nope. Negative. This console was the only one whose virtual consoles sold DS games. Red 1.
Wii U.
Yes, that is correct. For 10 points, name this console where you could play emulated games such as F-Zero directly off Play TV. All right. And so Right. Toss-up 16. One NES game tiled for a real star in this activity let you choose between characters such as Super Mechs, Big Jumbo, and Pretty Amy. A level design credit in a Wii game revealed that Kenji Miki designed levels for an NES game centering on this activity that otherwise lacked credits. Japanese players got sequels to a NES game centering on this activity that included both a US and Japan course. Donkey Kong works as an accountant in Nintendo's second NES game centering on this activity. An odd fighting version of this activity for the NES featured Lee Trevino on the cover. A NES game centering on this activity introduced the mechanism of a bar that you need to stop at 2 precise points as you calculate variables such as wind and... Green 3.
What is golf?
Yep, golf is the answer. For 10 points, name the sport. It's the center of NES game where Jack Nicklaus offers you his greatest 18 holes.
There we go. Well, now that I know what they are.
This one might be okay. Manga Toss-Up 17. Mangaka artist Hiroshi Kurogane gives you tips from a urinal in a Famicom game centering on these animals that plays the William Tell Overture. One of these animals appears on the cover by far the best-selling software package for the Family Computer Network System accessory. A talking one of these animals named Smith tells you, "Gladdy, I shall sing of your triumph," at the end of the NES version of Ultima 4. Near Pavuka and Cornelia, your party encounters mad examples of Red 3. Huh?
Star Fox?
Nope. Let's see. Mad examples of these animals in the original Final Fantasy. In a late GameCube release, the player travels to Impaz in the Hidden Village to recover Ilia's charm, an item that can call one of these animals. That best-known Nintendo animal of this type is originally found in an N64 game with Malon at Lon Lon Ranch and can go faster. Green 2.
Horse.
That is correct.
Did you want anything else?
Name these animals the subject of the Super Famicom games such as Thoroughbred Breeder 3.
Thoroughbreds, I think.
Yeah, that's like your game out. I think.
I'm glad it
All right.
been the Ultima one because that's like a SNES.
Okay. Toss-Up 18. Nintendo almost published a mascot platformer whose title starts with this letter by the Pickford brothers, where the title character must retrieve flags that are stolen by the evil Bobbins brothers. It's not K, but this is also the first letter in a pioneering game of cinematic platforming that was enabled by Jordan Mechner's use of rotoscoping for the animation. Green 2.
C?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's see. 25 letters to go. What's up?
X.
Nope.
What?
Everyone on your alphabet.
Into the N-Guard sword fighting stance when you hit on the SNES controller. This is the first letter in an Atari arcade game ported to NES by Eastridge Technologies that had novel handlebar controller in the arcades. That NES game, starting with this letter, rewards you for throwing objects through the window of non-subscribers as you... Green 3.
What is P? Paperboy. It's not
Yeah,
possible in there.
P, Paperboy.
Okay, in my defense, there is a Nintendo game called X, and it got spiritual
This isn't
successor called
Jeopardy.
Escape. So
Okay.
I have two.
I had no idea of this question until Paperboy came up. So.
Jeopardy.
It's practice for your Jeopardy play here.
But props to all of you for keying in that we were looking for a letter of the alphabet. So you're learning. You're learning to hear that keyword. You're learning that keyword. This takes practice. All right. Toss-up 19. In 2012, Chris Shirley released the source code for an early build of a never-released SNES game titled For These Creatures, whose museum level features a painting of Mickey Mouse. One of these characters can use the Magic Tornado power-up in an NES game where he's given the Spectre's fingernail. That character of this type, named Firebrand, first appeared as Redbrand. The enemy... Green 3.
What is a gargoyle?
Yep, gargoyles.
I got it.
For 10 points, name these creatures who are present in an SNES game based on the Disney film Topsy-Turvy Games.
Oh, that's right. I need to stop answering Jeopardy style.
No, there's Jeopardy later, so you may as well get used to it.
I will say it's rather annoying in Quiz Bowl with like, well, I've been holding back. It's like, you do not have to answer the form. You can just say the answer.
I mumble it to him every single time, like, you don't need to do that.
I mean, can you imagine if this was Jeopardy? Like, freaking the screen would be like scrolling. Actually, the first episode of Jeopardy, if you ever seen it, you could buzz in before Alex Trebek finished reading. It was very annoying.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. In a galaxy far, far away, Jeopardy was too easy for the American TV audience. They started watching Quiz Bowls. Yeah. And toss-up 20. The houses in this game are likely copied from buildings in the intermission for Golf Japan course. The game over screen in this game uses a laughing sound effect from Punch-Out. A line from this game titles Nathan Altus's Platform Studies book on the NES. Oh, Green 3.
What is Zelda 2?
Zelda 2, that is power.
Really? I was thinking it was Zelda too, because Ganon's laugh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was from Punch-Out though, so.
Name this NES sequel subtitled Adventures of Link. Yeah, okay. So, that was 20. That's all for this packet. We've got maybe a couple more minutes if you wanted to play, or I had just planned to do the whole packet. How do we all feel? Are we good?
How much time do we
Whole
have?
packet.
20
Huh?
minutes?
Whole packet.
Yeah, the whole that was the whole packet. Now
Oh.
I do have 8 rounds of this if we wanted to do a couple more
Yeah,
questions.
we have like
Okay.
10, there's so many.
You have like a
really
material
have
for
to
other
break down.
obscure subjects.
Actually, one.
I'd like to keep doing Nintendo ones if they're.
Nintendo? Okay, I'll find Nintendo 2. 1 second.
Did you say there was one for like Switch and stuff?
Yeah, the packet authors I think made 2 sets, one for Nintendo, and did we want to go to the hear what the Switch, the more current ones sound like?
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure, why not? Let me see. I'm going to do round 4 because I'll probably do round 1 at a future con. So,
Okay.
all right. So once again, this is new play control. We'll do this for about 10 minutes. A Nintendo mini tournament covering N64 through Switch, also by Mike Bentley.
Okay.
All right. Toss-up 1. In the Japanese version of one game, it's possible to soft lock the game by pausing while using one of this character's moves in the tutorial. This character declares, "I just had to pick it up," after happening across a necklace that is alone in referring to a group she belongs to as beauties. This character's signature defensive move is very similar in effect to Lady Bow's from a previous game. This character is the only party member with an entry in the title log. Other moves possessed by this character include Fiery Jinx. This character's infatuate attack blows a kiss at enemies to confuse them. Outside of battle, she kisses the protagonist after he returns a broken super bomb to her. After the protagonist stands up for this character against her sisters Bedlam and Marilyn. Red 2.
Vivian.
That is correct. You missed the power by 2 words, by the way. So.
Paper Mario.
Big Mario 2.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, let me see. For 10 points,
Also, I
name
love
this
Mouse.
transgender party member from Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door.
I couldn't remember the
Didn't
name.
we best party character in that game?
I'm impressed you've even heard of that, so cool. All right.
Big Mario 2 is awesome.
1,000-Year Door is the best in the series.
Yeah. I
Top,
played it as a kid.
Got a remake last year also, so that's cool.
Toss-up 2. One game in this series came packaged with a free taco coupon for Wahoos. To get the highest score in the first game in this series, you had to find a mirror spirit to double your score before collecting the 150 blue or green gems per vision. The US never got an official release of a top-down RPG in this series for the Game Boy Advance subtitled Densetsu no Star Medal. A remake of the first game in this series included extremely hard challenge rooms in each level of its new reverse mode and added bad English dubbing over the original gibberish dialogue. The series protagonist both attacks and moves with the wind bullet attack, which inflates enemies. A game in this series, subtitled Empire of Dreams, Red 1.
Well, now,
That is correct. Power. Just right on the asterisk. Let's see here.
Only the first game won like 300, 400 bucks.
I have it.
I hate
I mean, if we're on the subject of Jeopardy, if you didn't know, Ken Jennings, the current Jeopardy host, 76 game winning streak, he was the captain of the BYU Quiz Bowl team.
Ooh.
And he's actually on the board. Well, now he's a board member emeritus of NAQT. He did write questions. He may still be writing questions for NAQT. So, actually, one of the videos I have is just him testifying how Quiz Bowl forces you to learn a lot about a lot of different things. So I will say there is a Jeopardy connection. So let's see. If anything, we can credibly claim Quiz Bowl is a minor leagues for Jeopardy. So let's see. Toss up 3. Entering the code 323 down unlocks the parking lot in the first N64 game in this series, which also lets you enter a code to play as Raiden. The original arcade game in this series used the Seattle system, which developed a 3D FX chip. This series was developed by NBA Jam creators Mark Termel and Saul DeVita. The second arcade game in this series had a port to plug in a N64 controller pack for more customization. It's not a hockey game, but one entry in the series got more realistic pro entry that was the first in the series to add a proper number of players. Green 3.
What is NFL Blitz?
NFL Blitz is the answer. Power.
Also, we can probably go to 3 because the next thing in here is not until 3:30.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so go to 3? All right, we'll at least maybe see if we finish this packet. Okay. So next thing is until 3:30.
Right.
All right. It takes me at least 10 minutes to break down this buzzer, so I always budget that. So thank you for letting me know that. We'll keep going then until 3. Let's see here. Toss up 4. One mission in this game, Feasting on Fuzzies, must be completed by using a plant power-up. Locations in this game include the Pipe Path Tower. Scanning a MBBO of a character in this game who frequently depicts holding a magic paintbrush unleashes a Green 3.
What is Super Mario Sunshine?
Nope.
Dang. I keep saying what is. I'm sorry.
What system?
Let's see. In this, let's see.
N64.
Magic paintbrush unleashes a shockwave attack. In this game, the Neko parents can transform into Disaster Neko. Finishing this game is the best ending slightly changes the appearance of Junior Clown Car. This game takes place in Green 1.
Yoshi's Island.
Nope. Lake Lapcat. In the final boss battle in this game, the hero must repeatedly ram Plessy into a crystal ball to break free of the Giga Bells that the boss... Red 1.
Super Mario 3D World.
Is it Mario?
Prompt. I need more than that.
Bowser's Fury.
That is correct.
Okay.
It says, except Super Mario 3D plus Bowser's Fury. So, yeah, Bowser's Fury. All right. For 10 points, name this bite-sized Mario game included with a re-release of Super Mario 3D World. So that was a good example of something that does happen in Quiz Bowl. Sometimes the answer will be incomplete or not quite. Officially, all the moderator is allowed to do is say prompt and then give you 3 seconds to answer. So that was a good example of something that does happen in
I
Quiz
must have answered right the next time, then, so I think it took me 3 seconds.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. We're not, as a moderator, I'm not against you getting the right answer. I like that about Quiz Bowl. If you're close or it's incomplete, the moderator has the option to say prompt. So, yeah. And there also are usually a packet author's notes. So, does that all make sense? I want to convey
it does
how,
to me.
yeah.
So.
It's very straightforward. All right. Toss-up 5. This game was developed using a prototype controller that had to be kept within a black box for security reasons. A soundtrack that shares its name with this game featured compositions by Joe McNeely and a performance by the Royal Scottish National Orchestra, and includes the tracks Southern Underground and Into the Sewers. In the best ending of this game, the hero declares, "It's good to be remembered as a martyr without actually being dead, wouldn't you say?" The player is rewarded for exploring every part of a biking level by finding rotating emblems that give you challenge points. Some of the turret levels in this game have your player taking the guns while co-pilot Lebo steers the ship. Part 4 of this game has the protagonist rescuing a character who has been kidnapped by Xizor before escaping Red 3.
What is Shadows of the Empire?
That is correct. Power. Did I say it right? Was it Xizor or Xizor?
Xizor.
Xizor, thank you. It's been a while since I read Shadows.
Big Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I know. I cannot emphasize that moderating Quiz Bowl, so for security reasons, I'm not emailed the packet in an actual Quiz Bowl till right when the round starts, like right on the hour, and so you're reading college level words completely cold. So I must have fun saying Wagner and Brunhilde, but yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I never take us up his offers to do it.
No. What, you can't say algebra math problems on the fly?
No.
Yeah, those are fun. Oh, there also are actual math questions in Quiz Bowl, so those will be prompted by saying paper and pencil rate, and they'll give you like 10 seconds to solve an algebra problem or like calculus issues or things like that. Oh no, I actually got to play around with my friend over the weekend. It was just us racing to calculate the area of a rectangle. It was hilarious. All right. Let's see. Toss-up 6. Some versions of a 3DS game in this series came packed with an NFC reader for earlier 3DS systems that couldn't interact with its ambios. In one minigame based on this series, more candy that players collect, the slower they move and the larger their head grows. A DSiWare entry in this series, Red 1.
Animal Crossing.
That's correct. Power. All right. Toss-up 7. In Japan, the Switch got an official stylus for the first time with a release of a... Wow. Red 1.
Range.
That's correct. Power. Your buzzer working? Your buzzer works. Okay. Let's see. Toss-up 8. A Pirate's Realm Level 2 song in this game adds a lot of seagull examples for some reason. One of the most annoying bosses in this game requires you to adjust the height of a bunch of platforms surrounding Frankenstein's monster. A more conventional boss in this game centers on sending a bowling ball into a dinosaur. A dictionary is consulted to determine the terms Garibs, meaning recent AVGN video in this game, that ends with the nerd realizing that the PlayStation version controlled way better than the N64 version. The final boss in this game has your player character grabbing a switch to launch items at a giant robot, which restores a wizard back to form and brings order to the Crystal Kingdom. This game's control is made harder by the fact that most of the time the tile character is running on the top of rubbers. Green 3.
What is Glover? Or not what is Glover?
Yes, and you just missed the power. That's what I was trying to figure out. I said top, so by rule, if I say the word just past the power, it doesn't count. So that's you'll hear moderators that often when they pause, they're trying to figure out if you get the power or not. So for 10 points, name this game where you control a character very similar to the final boss from Super Smash. Okay, let's see here.
Oh, Glover. Yeah.
Glover. Glover's the answer.
You have to say it's hard to control because he's on top of a rubber ball. That's the whole point of the game. Is you take the ball from point A to point B.
Cool.
Nice.
Toss-up 9. A robot piloted by these characters has legs that are usually covered up by metal armor and has one of only 2 songs in the game composed by Koji Kondo. One of these characters throws bombs that look like spiky cactuses at the player, flicking them through the use of the braid in her hair. These characters travel around on an airship whose bow is shaped like the madam who leads them. And individual examples of these characters include Harriet, the only pictured female member, These characters are introduced to the player in a sequence in Top Hat Tower. These characters originated on the dark side of the moon and are responsible for planning a wedding taking place in the Moon Kingdom. One member of this group, Spewart, looks Green 2.
Are they rabbits?
Prompt.
Oh, what does that mean again?
Like, be more specific.
Oh,
Like what's the name of the group that he's looking for?
oh, yeah, I didn't play the game.
Red 3.
Rabbits.
Prompt.
No.
That's the.
Damn.
All right, no problem.
You said.
Oh, thank you. These characters originate on the dark side of the moon and are responsible for planning a wedding taking place in the Moon Kingdom. One member of this group, Spewart, looks a lot like Morton Cooper Jr. For 10 points, name these rabbit-like bosses from Mario Odyssey.
I can't remember what
I can't remember the name of the group at all.
You don't know what they're called.
I knew what he was talking about
Yeah.
many sentences ago. I can't remember what they're called.
No answer. Brutals.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the brutal.
I would never.
So I did make a judgment there. You said rabbits. I'm going to prompt. It was looking for rabbit-like bosses.
Yeah, I call them the rabbits.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone calls them.
Well, apparently they have a name called Brutals. So, okay. Toss-up 10. This is the first word in the name of a company that never released a game called Siren in the Maelstrom. This is also the third word in the title of a game where you can cause the music to stop playing by destroying stereos in environments such as Arctic Kingdom and Euro Eden. This is the third word in the title of an N64 game that was ported to the PlayStation with the title Evo's Space Adventure. This is the first game in the name of a development studio that made games like Dark Legions and partnered with Nintendo on a game featuring a sanity meter, Eternal Darkness. This is
Silicon.
Huh?
Silicon?
Yes, that is correct. Power. Toss-up 11. One game in this with this title featured a mode named for the 1985 tile matching game, Same Game. In a single-player mode of a game with this tile, the protagonist can be picked up by NPCs if he's in the stunned mode and can be moved and can be saved from death if he possesses a heart power-up. That game of this name lets the player unlock the Rainbow Palace after collecting all 100 cards in a quest against Altair, the boss who resides in the Black Fortress. A Japanese-only game with this tile also features a panic mode named for the game originally for the Neo Geo. Unique for the series, one game in this title lets the player make their attacks more powerful with the pump option. These pumped objects also cannot be kicked by other players. In a sequel to this game, the circular attack area of weapons are changed back to a traditional cross pattern. Green 3.
Bomberman.
Yes, I'll accept that. It says Bomberman 64, but that's close enough. So.
I'd say you got time for like one more.
Yeah, I think this is a good one. Yeah, I'll do one more. Toss-up 12. The fifth mainline game in this series has a harvest mode where you collect items falling from a truck and take a pair of scissors to fruit trees, as well as a bunch of word matching puzzles in a study mode. A lot of annoying baby crying sound effects litter mini-games in one entry in this series, which centers on Ichigo, the daughter of the title character, making a trip to the grocery store. The first entry in this series featured a menu option for Let's Combine mode. The stylus is used to get Green 1.
Cooking Mama?
That is correct. Power. For 10 points, name the series whose entries include Bon Appetit, all of which center on preparing meals. So,
Cool.
let me just see. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and call that. I hope you all had fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just like trivias.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're interested in getting more involved, like I said, Texas Challengers Quiz Tournaments, we're looking for scorekeeper moderators March 1st at Rosecki High School if you're interested. So.